We often think that coming to church is to follow some rules. Often we think coming to church is to become a philosopher and to have ideas, concepts about God and how to live our lives. Ultimately, coming to church is to begin to establish a relationship, a true friendship with the Lord. Good morning. It is for me a real privilege to be here in this house of prayer. It is a privilege for me to be an instrument of God's grace in your lives. An instrument to bring to you the gift of the Holy Spirit. We began this Eucharist praying, Lord, make our hearts new and set them on fire so that we could understand the mystery of your mercy, the mystery of your love. You see, dear friends, all of us here, you and I, we're fragile. We're sinful people. And we are in need of help. And that is what we're so proud of you. Because today we are not celebrating your accomplishment, not even your knowledge about our faith, but rather we are in awe of your humility. Because ultimately, you're standing before this community, your sponsors, your parents, your family, this community of faith, you're standing before all of us and you're saying loud and clear, I need more than ever the grace of God in my life so that finally I can begin to trust and to surrender and ultimately accept His unconditional love. The gospel that we have heard, the gospel that was proclaimed this morning, speaks to us about thirst. In all of us, there is an incredible thirst for joy, for peace. We need to fill our hearts with many things so that finally we can say, this is all I need now to be happy. We want to be happy. It is the desire of your parents always for you to be happy and to be joyful. Sometimes life is not easy. And life takes away from us the joy, the peace that we can experience when we finally surrender to Christ. Dear sons and daughters, dear friends, today in humility, and Teresa of Jesus will tell us, humility is to be authentic. Humility is to be real, genuine. Humility is not to be afraid to enter into the cells of our hearts and realize that in all of us, there are failings, sins, there's pain. That is why we thirst. We thirst because we want to fill the loneliness, the pain, the aches of our hearts. The world of ours will offer many things, and you know the answer already. Often we think that honor, accomplishments, success might be the answer. And then the real mystery comes that the more we receive, the more we have, the more we acquire, the more we want. I need one more thing in my life, and finally I will find joy. And we realize that we have been fooled. Life has fooled us. Because ultimately it is about trust in the mercy of God. It is about having a friendship. And I cannot emphasize, if I was putting this in writing, put it with a red marker. Friendship with Jesus. We often think that coming to church is to follow some rules. Often we think coming to church is to become a philosopher and to have ideas, concepts about God and how to live our lives. And seldom we hear that ultimately coming to church is to begin to establish a relationship, a true friendship with the Lord who is here. And that is why today you will be confirmed. Today you will receive the gift of knowledge, of wisdom, of understanding, of courage. You will receive the gifts of the Holy Spirit, because through this grace you will finally come to surrender and to begin. Takes a lifetime, trust me, to begin to trust and to say, Jesus is with me. He is in my heart. In the interior castle of Teresa of Jesus, she always spoke that at the very center of the castle, at the very center of our hearts, is the Lord. Is the Lord. And He wants to love you. There's something very interesting, Father Joe, in the gospel that has been very good for me, is that not only the woman is thirsty, but Jesus begins by revealing that He was thirsty. How wonderful it is to know that Jesus is vulnerable and also in need of us and loves us and is longing after us. He gives us the freedom, and we're free to accept or reject this friendship. But the Lord is always after us. He thirsts for us. At the cross, when He uttered those words, I thirst, He's longing for us. And that is love. And this is how He loves us. With this passion, with this fidelity. And He will never, ever leave us orphans. I want to thank God for your parents. So what do I want for you? I want your joy. I want you to be happy. And I already gave you the answer. It's very simple. It's having a friendship with Jesus. And to your parents, where is mom and dad? Raise your hands, please. I want to see where you are. Thank you. We are deeply grateful. Deeply grateful because you have taught your children Words are often forgotten, trust me. But by your example, by your dedication, by your fidelity, that life has meaning when we come to know the Lord. Trust me, dear parents, none of us are perfect. And you who are filming me, I said it. It's making me nervous. But what can I tell you? None of us are perfect. But I know if I were to ask you, dear father, dear mom, what do you want for your baby? What do you want for them? What do you want? Oh, you made me cry. Could you put this down, please? You're making me nervous. You want them to be happy. I need to talk from my heart. You wanted them to be happy. You want them to be at peace. You want the very best for them, the very best. You want them to be, and then we say words that ultimately means nothing. We want them to be successful. But what is to be successful? It's one who is loving. To be successful is one who is kind, who's gentle, and who's willing to forgive and to open the doors and say everyone is welcome in our home. That's what we want. You can film now. You can go back. You can do whatever you want. Please, I'm tormenting you. I'm sorry. But, I see you and we're together here. That's what you want for them. And I'm going to tell you, I'm sure it's not easy to be a parent, Not easy. I mean, you said because, you know why? Because they think they know best. And they do know a lot. They know a lot. It's because they're growing. And I always said, they are growing and we are dying. Our human brain, remember, medicine is my background, and I know about the human brain. For 30 years, I've studied here at our medical school, and I learned that when you're this age, they're alive. Those cells, what is the principal cell of the brain? The neurons. Those neurons are growing, not growing, they are giving birth to so much. But we who are getting old, you know what happened? Life has been hard on us. And we realize how painful life could be. And we want to tell them, please, we don't want you to suffer. We don't want anyone to hurt you. We want you to be free, and we want you to love. That's why we want the very best for them. And therefore, the only thing is required of you is to persevere. Would they be perfect? None of us are. Would they make mistakes? All of us do. So therefore, I love that prayer from Teresa of Jesus. And I had to say it in Spanish. Who speaks Spanish? Who's taking Spanish here? They put their hands down. Nobody's taking Spanish? Nobody, ¿no hablan español aquí? Oh my God. ¿Quién habla español? No. The famous prayer, que nada te turbe y que nada te espante. I have to say it in Spanish. It's so beautiful. Que nada te turbe y que nada te espante. La paciencia todo lo alcanza. Al quien Dios tiene, nada le falta. Solo Dios basta. Okay, can you translate? Let nothing, this is the prayer from Teresa of Jesus. You know that prayer, right, brother? Let nothing disturb you. Let nothing frighten you. Patience reaches all things. He who has God has everything. God alone suffices. I needed to say in Spanish because it's my native language. And I needed to say it to you and to your parents from the depth of my heart. Let nothing frighten you. Let nothing disturb you. Continue your mission. You're doing great. You know why I know that? Because you're here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now they're going to do something that, for me, is amazing. You see, the homily I went too far to your parents. I didn't talk about the sponsors. And you're going to be placing your right hand on their shoulder to remind them that they will never be alone. You will never be alone. There's always a community. I came here and I started looking about familiar faces. I said, where are they? I see them because you're always here. Perseverance. And you know what? Your sponsors and this entire community is going to be, the religious, you're going to be placing your right hand on their shoulder to remind you that you will never, ever walk alone. You're not alone. And every time you fail, and all of us do, how wonderful it is to have a sponsor who will tell you, get up, and be not afraid. That is my message to all of you. And especially this is your responsibilities, dear sponsors, to remind them to get up over and over again, because God is always faithful. Now you can start clapping again.